Wonderful people, most welcome. I'm Charlotte Chi. As you all know, I am a creator of light codes, lifting people up, getting into that new live stream that is overwhelming the earth worldwide. And it's not about to stop, it's getting more and more intensified as we have been preparing for this particular time upon the planet for many decades right now. And there's many people asking me, is it important really to have a light body, to raise your vibration frequencies and so forth, and to move all the way back into the origin, your direct lineup, into the alpha omega stations, and then in the omni presence? So my answer to it, it's been my whole education for more than 30 years. And now, like, if we look at a human body, it is composed out of a tree of life. It has consciousness, it has mentality, it has, sadly enough, an emotional body created through birth, through the matrix, that we all need to override. So yes, a light body accelerates your process massively with everything that is present on the earth, but yet in a new tree of life, of course, because evolution states that everything changes all of the time, and thus everything on the planet changes, the water changes, the ground floor changes, your compositions, your elements within the body that make up the body change all of the time. And so how can we truly catch up with that? So I must say, once you really have installed your I am presence within your light body, and you want to rise your vibration all the way, opening like the capstone of creation, the capstone we find on the pyramids, then you open up interdimensional consciousness, you open up your crystalline vision. Crystalline vision is becoming very important. It's not only about the eye of Horus, the pineal gland activation, I would say, because I wouldn't know why it needs to be decalcified unless you think that you need decalcification all over the body through the entire crystallization process, because the bones in the body needs to crystallize, so the entire skeletal structure becomes one with the new skeletal structure of the universe, the new skeletal structure of the airplane. So merging with the earth is easy. It's easy. Once we think in terms of acupuncture points, spinning points, spinning wheels, opening vortexes, merging within it, they become exotonal ley lines. These exotonal ley lines, what I've seen this morning was very interesting. So in order to get into an easier vibration, we open up the alchemy. That is just the goal way in an celestial fashion, an celestial way of application, actually. And so I see that merging the meridians under the earth into the I am presence, opening into the omnipresence, because there was some breaking point that created the matrix. We can squeeze that and open up higher consciousness, in which you feel the vortexes of living light all of the time. Now on these particular spinning points, these are points like in acupuncture, they move also through the meridians of the airplane, through our own meridians, and some points are completely stuck with all consciousness, stuck because of old mentality, old belief system that cannot truly move your body in that higher vibration. And so on each of these points, I have seen cones. One cone pointing upward, one cone pointing downward, and they were all having bands of energy, so colors that I term energy bands, like we have many teams of light. They all have a color. These colors, we find them back in the new tree of life. like the first 12 colors making up the tree of life, making up your light body. And when they start to spin, they can spin out through your vibrational breathing system. So upgrading the breath from the breath of source into the eternal breath, into the omnipotent breath, and further that you become a spinning wheel of living light. And let me tell you, that happens when opening the I Am Presence, when you have that grounded foundation in an I Am Presence into the omnipresence. And so the higher ways come into the equation. What are these higher ways? That starts off with the invisible way, the clear way. And it opens up a very high communication self to self, because it can ground the spark within. So you have that spark to spark communication into the Omni presence, moving with the Alpha Omega stations. There are many stations on the airplane that host the Alpha Omega stations, but there's also an equation that hosts the everything that broke was female and male vibration. So we have the Alpha and the Omega, male, female notes, song notes, like light codes that needs to move together to create an activation. And so here the sound waves need to match the light waves in the Alpha Omega, making up the third song note, in which perfect partners from first creation come back together. Reason why there's so much problematic static in relationship, because people actually don't match each other, and reason why I choose to live by myself for many years, and because it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, nothing in that equation, but that's a whole book of knowledge here about relationships. So in order to move into the omnipresence here, we can open that up. So with the radio waves of an celestial Shambhala, the eternal universal body rising together with that straight antenna that opens up through the capstone, moves further, and then you feel that with the higher waves coming through. So the first one, as I said, would be the crystal clear way, opening your I Am Presence with wings and rings of light. So a ring is like a perfect circle around the energy field, and that perfect circle opens up to the origin of creation, still residing intact in the South Pacific Ocean. And thus we can rise because and we connect with it, and then we rise into the next level that is always from that level out to the grounding level, which is the turquoise ray. Remember, everything that was immunity has been moving through an attempt of the killer field. So I don't have to explain that, I think. So anything that is in there that could kill it was available, and anything lesser would not be available until today, because a turquoise ray combined with a clear ray, combined with a burgundy ray, combined with I would say my highest level passion would actually be the smoky quartz, because it holds so much potential that it makes me see inside out. So here the entire lenses of the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the amygdala gate into eternity opens up to the next gate, and that moves, of course, with the power of the one. Being one with the one moves with the river of life, and the river of light that is still the till then river, encoded with it and moving into the omnipresence. If you are a bit like me, you know, passionate about the origin, that is the crystallization of the body, then I would say the best companion you can have at this time would be the rainbow obsidian. That's a power bomb in which you feel the vortexes moving with the radio waves all the way up. I no longer work with the scalar waves, but the radio waves create can uplift immediate to that point. You forgot when you have that 0 point balance from under the Earth's surface. That was stationed with the origin of the crystallization now all over the globe. And another one, of course, is a black tourmaline, that is most know that one as a huge protective shield around the body. So that one, the obsidian, that creates actually a wing, a black wing of light that has like a sunlight that actually all vortexes going around it, linking in with many other galaxies, many other systems going into the Omni beyond. And so the black garnet is also one of my favorites to work with. And this one is from Mexico. I love Mexican crystals. This is a black one from Mexico as well, because it's quite obvious that these countries that are being installed in the throat to bring the power of the word back, to allow your spark to speak, all that was closed off. And these come in to the open, especially with the Mexican crystal, the Mexican black one, the Mexican turquoise as well, and the Tunisia turquoise and the Tunisia black crystals that are important to open that up as they move. Actually, they work together. The thyroid, parathyroid glands work together instantly with the high heart. The high heart opens the immunity, that is your thymus gland, immediately opens up new geometrical pattern into the capstone. So here that opens up what many speak about, the X factor we find in the pyramids as well, but it needs that I am presence that moved beyond the broken soul, that is the chakra system, into the pillar of light, rising that X factor into the open. You space out. And when you can space out, you will feel actually your higher self rising. And when you feel that rising and speaking to you 24/7, life becomes very interesting, right? So yes, I wouldn't say that there may be many ways to the divine actually, but we are all composed out of a light body, out of a tree of life, and without applying its technology, like you apply all your apps on your iPhone or whatever you have, then you cannot go for, because you cannot connect with anybody anymore without it. You cannot have a phone that is like 20 years old, because it wouldn't work anymore, or has, you know, very little vibrational connectivity. So that is a little bit about how to rise from the I am into the omnipresence, hosting the Alpha Omega stations, and because it's essentially the last cycle of ascension we are moving into and closing that off. And so everything moves faster and faster on the planet. Sudden changes, of course, they happen, and they need to happen. It is meant to be. It's like an automatic calculation, because the brain calculates automatically depending on how much you delete, you sift, you replace beliefs with new perspectives, and you upgrade every day through that. So that is really the black rainbow obsidian is your greatest partner you can have, because it opens, brings through the passion, and it also allows you to recognize yourself a little bit more, to recognize where you're at, to recognize like, hey, I'm discovering myself a little bit more, and you don't really have to fish where you need to go. We wrote all the fishing content. We are in the clear Aquarian waters, and Aquarian waters, they do not fish. They have parallel movement. If you look at the sign of Aquarius, they have, you know, they stick together. That is a unified field. We are going to stick together. We lift each other up. If you do your part, I do my part, and everybody does their part, then we move into that expected wonderful world. And it's coming in anyways. But we need to understand that the old needs to collapse completely in order to rise in the beautification of paradise, into the beautification and the complete repair of this planet, because there's loads of work to be done yet, and to re-educate anyone into it. And so many languages are rising here. Some of the easiest way to upgrade your consciousness really quickly is just to turn the Hebrew letters. Stick to Yod, Vav, Hey, that deletes anytime you want to judge anything or have an opinion about anybody or anything. Then you just sing the Yod, Vav, Hey. Eventually space Tzadi in the middle. Yod, Tzadi, Vav, Hey, Yod, Tzadi. You feel the power of Tzadi that is connected to the black Omni universe, the omnipotent presence that we are rising into, and thus it defeats immediately negative content. So here, as well as what I was talking about my free sessions here, how to open up the breath into light codes, as I create a lot of light codes to re-encode the brain, the genes, consciousness, so many things, and give you a free experience every week on Monday at 7 p.m. Brussels time. So here, if you want to join, feel free to join in, jump in, and have just half an hour experience of a light code. Like, it is so easy to move with it and spin with it, opening up that spin, that vibration, that vortex, move out of the old platform in which that vortex goes like this. And when you're in the omnipresence, you move very fast. So live, you need to feel it to have that joy and fun. And so starting off with just a breathing exercise, uploading a code, either in the brain, the heart. Every week I bring to a new code that you can partake of. So you have the experience of moving that in, and there will definitely be a session that I will be opening up into several levels of the breathing system. So that may be interesting as well, because the breath, the element air, the Aquarian age is all about the element air. Without the air, you have nothing. You don't exist. So it makes up your entire existence. And the more you elevate, you understand the element air, you take with it the element fire, you ground into the earth, you connect deeply with the old waters, you eliminate the water, the muddy waters within. That is, of course, the emotional body that was never meant to exist on the planet. So that needs to be replaced with higher living light senses. And when you're in the highest senses, you cannot possibly judge or have an opinion. You just flow with what comes, and you elevate, and you always synchronize with what you are bringing through in creation as a creator self. So I hope that helps a little bit to understand, because the higher ways are not so much known to many people. So the higher ways are also connected, of course, to the new tree of life, and they come in burgundy, the silver way, the copper way, We have the amethyst way, we have the invisible way, we have the aquamarine way, we have the smoky quartz way, which is very important, with the turquoise, of course, moving together, and in especially the crystal clear transparent way. And then experiencing them, working with them, opening them up. So most of the time I work in a triangular fashion. I use 3 colors at one time. That brings in a fusion and opens up a geometrical pattern, not only in the heart, also in the brain. It depends where it needs to sit. And thus these code can transform consciousness faster even than the speed of light. And then you have something to really to cling on to, and really move forward very, very fast. So here I invite you all, if you want to experience these free Zoom sessions, then the link is down there, and you will find it, and we will meet up once a week, because essentially you can see in the back here, I'm an artist. On canvas I just paint consciousness, I paint information, and then I create digital codes, pardon me. And I invite people to rise with their voice, so opening up the brain connectivity immediately to the high heart, because most people have the huge problem right here. That is that the voice, the open word, has been killed massively, and people still fear talking out and are not themselves most of the time. And that's not pleasant, because this is a time when you start to even notice it more than before, and not being able to express the self kills the self, so you lower your vibration every time as well. So here, let's give everyone this opportunity if you want to partake of it. And I will definitely come out with new of these light codes. And for now, I'll open them up. If you've never meditated or know anything about light body, know nothing at all, it doesn't really matter, because I bring to the beginning point, because teaching the breath is working with the breath in the first place. Then you start to understand the air. Then you start to understand where stuck patterns may reside in the body, the energy field, and so forth. Then you create a passion to open up that circulation. Like, if I sit like this is how I feel it 24/7. But that takes a little bit of work and can be done for those interested into it. Other than that, I would say you all just cling on the rising of this earth in its purification process. I would recommend, so eat as light as you can, as pure as you can, drink loads, and give some time to the divine. If you open up divine will within your spine, then you're always in alignment. If you reside in free will, that's ego consciousness, that is consciousness that even wakes itself further down into the soul, and has actually, nothing but asking the outer world for their help. And so while everything resides within, it's a matter of opening up. And so that is where I will assist the incoming era, actually, because it's going to be very interesting. So if you like it, thank you for sharing and leaving me a comment. If you want to partake of these upgrades for free, I will be there every